All right, good morning, everybody. So 2023. Let's start off this year right, fellow combatants. All right, so this next video, it's the element of surprise in fighting. So once again, I don't condone fighting. I'm not asking everybody to go out there and just start picking fights, becoming a street fighter. But you know, one aspect of martial arts, it's fighting. You know, it's mainly not just fighting, but defending yourself. So you're in a situation where, you know, you're not expecting to be attacked by an aggressor. You're not expecting to get mugged. You're not expecting to get harassed or anything. And you can't run away. You can't avoid it. You know, you did everything in your power to get out of a really bad situation, but it came down to the point that you have to fight. It happens. You know, it happens time and time again. You know, some to others maybe, and for some it may never happen, which is great. I mean, if you live your whole life without being in an actual fight where you gotta defend what you have or defend your, you know, yourself from bodily harm, that's great. You know, and especially if you got a family, you know, you don't want to put them in danger. So going on, the element of surprise. Actually, this video kind of got inspired by another YouTuber that I was watching right now. He was talking about the efficiency of capoeira. For those of you who don't know, Capoeira is a Brazilian martial art disguised as a dance. It looks really cool, honestly. When you watch it, you think of breakdance in a more aggressive manner. But regardless, it's supposed to be a hidden martial art because back then, at least to my knowledge, I could be wrong at some points, but back then, when there were soldiers out in Brazil, you know, they were, a lot of the people around there, you know, had to, you know, defend themselves from any harm, but they couldn't be out there, you know, training and practicing where they would stand out and then, you know, be attacked by these soldiers during a wartime. So what they did is they developed a fighting method, which is disguised within a dance. So while they were practicing you could say a dangerous martial art, when you would see it, you would see a dance. You would see, okay, maybe it's you know, something cultural, something traditional. You know, the dance just disguises it. And honestly, that really is what most martial arts is about. It's disguising your martial art. In this case, they were obviously trying to disguise it. You know, a lot of the movements are circular movements, spinning movements, using your body weight to attack your opponent. You know, very, very effective. You know, if you land one of those hits. I mean, I would not want to be kicked by a capoeira. It'd be like getting a machete to the face, honestly. You know, I feel that heel would cut right through me. So, you know, people say, you know, it's just for show. Yeah, well, it's supposed to look like it's just for show. That's the whole point. But going on, so this inspired me to talk about other martial arts. And again, I don't condone fighting, but for those of you martial artists out there, with good intentions, obviously not looking for a fight, but one of the things we run into as a martial artist is, does my martial art really work? Will I be able to defend myself when the time comes? You know, will it be effective against an aggressor that already knows how to fight because they've been through so many fights? Now, there's a difference. Somebody who's out there to cause you harm, let's just say somebody who's out there to cause you harm in the sense of to take what you have, most likely has experience in doing this and hurting other people, and they know how to attack somebody. They don't just randomly, from zero to nothing, just attack somebody and think they're gonna get away with it. They think they're gonna get away with it because they've done it before and they've gotten away with it. A lot of people out there with bad intentions have already honed their skills, because it is a skill to hurt somebody. So, as a martial artist, being a peaceful martial artist, practicing your art just so that you can have it there. Basically, it's like keeping a gun with a lock on, because you really never want to use it. But that being said, you're not expecting to use it at any point. You just you practice because it builds confidence, and it's a good tool to have in case of a bad scenario. It's kind of like a fire extinguisher. You buy a fire extinguisher, and all of a sudden, bam, something catches on fire. So what's the first thing you do? You don't just use a fire extinguisher. You end up picking it up and you end up reading the instructions. And you're like, okay, what do I do first? So you start squeezing it and you realize, I gotta take out the pin. Okay, I gotta aim this correctly. Okay, I gotta watch out that I'm not that I'm aiming at the right spot. So fire extinguisher is a tool that we use in a situation where we gotta use it. But if you don't know how to use it, you're gonna run into a point where you're gonna be stuck for a little while before actually turning the thing on. So with martial arts, it's kind of the same thing. We know we want to use it to defend ourselves, but we don't actually practice in a situation where we're actually being attacked at full speed, full strength by somebody who's actually trying to hurt us. Most of our fellow practitioners are not trying to hurt us. We're just trying to get into a habit of building the movements so that we get used to them, so we get muscle memory, so we know how to move. So that's where the element of surprise comes in. Since we know as a martial artist, we're not trying to hurt anybody. And it's funny the reverse, because most parents ask me, or they tell me, what, I want to put my kid into martial arts, but I don't want them to get aggressive. I'm like, honestly, you put them into martial arts, they're going to get more confident. Most of the bullies who don't have a fighting style, don't have a structure, are the aggressive ones. That's why they start to bully, because, they're usually scared most of the time that they're going to look bad in front of people, or somebody's going to make them look bad, so they become bullies. So they usually fight to hurt, because they realize that hurting somebody will make them look intimidating. Martial artists usually gains confidence and knows that they no longer really need to prove themselves. So they don't get that aggression. Plus, we have tournaments, we have exhibitions, demonstrations where we get to use those martial arts, to show that we do know what we're doing. So regardless, most of us martial artists, we like peace. We know what it's like to get hurt by a punch, by a kick, sprain our wrist, sprain our ankle, receive impact. We know what it feels like, and we know we don't want to cause that damage on anybody else. So one thing that works for us, if you're a martial artist, you're a skilled martial artist, but you've never really used your talents in a fight because you haven't been in a situation where you had to fight. It's the element of surprise, meaning don't go out showing your aggressor that you know how to fight. So just like in Capoeira, let people think you're, with them, let them think you're a dancer. You're just some dancer, no ill intention, no combat ability. So when somebody attacks you, the first thing you want to do is, yeah, hey, I don't want to fight. No, they, whatever I did, I'm sorry. Um, you know, Basically let your aggressor know that, you have no skill at all. You have no background in any fighting. You're the one backing off. You're the one apologizing. You're the one trying to de-escalate the situation. Somebody's trying to mug you, or they got a weapon. Obviously, give them your wallet. You know, but you give the vibe that you're not a threat, so that when your aggressor hopefully doesn't, but does decide to come at you and hurt you, all of a sudden, your hands up here, become your stance. And, your aggressor won't see it coming, where you strike them with a very fast and hard strike to a vital point, obviously to knock them down. Remember, end the fight quick. If somebody's coming at you, especially somebody trying to mug you, you want to end the fight quick. If they got a weapon, most likely, if they got a knife, you're gonna get cut. But you want to use speed. If you're able to land a hit, before you're attacked by the weapon, make sure that hit has its full intention of speed, of power. Knock out your aggressor. If you show them that you're a martial artist, and this person is used to fighting, they're gonna get that vibe that, okay, hey, this person's a threat. I better end him quicker before this guy gets a shot at me. You want to let them know that you're weak. I do get that. It's good to have confidence. It's good to look out in the streets like if somebody was to approach you, they not to mess with you. But most people won't mess with you. But the people that are trying to take what you have, they will mess with you, and they don't care what you look like. And if they feel you're a threat, well, they're gonna come at you harder. So, most skilled martial artists that have been through bad situations know to just not show off their strength. They want to look like a regular person. Most people, when they see me on the street, they're like, most of my employees, whenever they get wind that I do some type of martial art, they're usually surprised. Not because I don't look like a martial artist or anything, but because my mannerisms. I'm usually respectful, really easygoing, open door policy type of person. Most people see fighters as like aggressive or as trying to be intimidating, where in reality you don't have to be. Look at Jackie Chan. If you never knew that guy was a martial artist or an acrobat or anything, and you meet him on the street, you think he's just some normal, happy dude who's giving off good vibes. But he knows most likely how to defend himself in a bad situation if he has to. So that's the tip for the day. Always keep that element of surprise with you. Just how the guys at Capoeira normally do so on a daily basis during their practice. You run into one of those guys and they try, they start dancing around you, and you're thinking like, no big deal. Just watch out for those kicks, because they'll cut right through you. All right, guys, have a great day.